lot to get into. Sportsden, brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Make sure you get to an ABC near you. There's one near you if you live in Florida. If you don't live in Florida, then when you get to Florida, check them out.
The first problem is what you stated.
Yeah, you don't live in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You live in one of those, like, third world states? Not Florida?
Yeah, that's not Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all can stop coming down here anytime, though.
Yeah, the property value is getting crazy.
It's getting crazy, and it's getting crowded, and, like, I mean, I'm all for y'all coming down and enjoying the lifestyle that is, but at some point, we're going to have to build a wall.
Yeah.
Around the state.
Around the state?
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep the Yankees out.
Exactly. The illegal Yankees. Yeah, it is a sports den. Make sure you get to thehumidor.com. We don't give them enough pub. You don't have to get there. Don't worry about it. Thehumidor.com. Type in 20% off and you'll get type in sports den, you'll get 20% off.
Don't type in 20%.
Yeah. Type in sports den, all lowercase, all one word, and you'll get 20% off. Huge selection of cigars. Get by there to thehumidor.com. So do we have a coach in Jacksonville, or I'm Team Dilla?
If Dilla
saw the beef going around.
If Dilla said it, I'll tell you who I believe before anybody. I believe Biggie, your dog.
Okay.
Before I believe Gene, what is it? Fournette? It ain't Gene Fournette. What's
Fournette.
Fournette, Leonard's cousin. I don't like that guy.
Really?
It could all stem from last year. Was it 2 years ago when and I know it's weird because people think like I don't have a beef with 1010. Somebody put that the other day. I don't have a beef with 1010.
You're beefing? That's
no,
what they said.
I don't. Yeah, that's what they said. No wonder you dislike 1010. So I don't dislike 1010. Just haven't like I don't really like the way a situation was handled, but like I don't dislike them. I don't have a reason to dislike.
Well, you haven't walked back in that place since your second life started, have you?
No, I haven't, and I won't.
Yeah,
like I don't have any intentions of coming there anytime soon. But it's got I like some of those people are really dope people. I love Baloo. Love Big Sears. I just don't think Sears is the greatest live reader in the world, but I love him. I love Hayes. A lot of people. But when Gene Fournette went after Frangie, I was like, it was so random. Frangie was like saying, "Rest in peace, my mentor."
Yeah.
And then Fournette came off the top rope. After that, I was just like, "Yo, I don't like this guy."
There was some pent-up anger.
Like, yeah, like he, like.
But the reports came out, or Dilla reported.
Right.
But
it wasn't just Dilla. It was Dilla and other NFL insiders because I didn't get it first from Dilla. I saw it from
They got it from Dilla.
Yeah, I saw Dilla post it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if Dilla's saying this, I believe it. I don't know about the NFL insiders, but I know Dilla got sauces. Now, when I first saw like one of my friends, Laura, was in Tallahassee. It was like 3 Jacksonville radio stations are reporting that Byron Leftwich is the head coach. And I'm like, 3 Jacksonville radio stations?
3.
We don't have 3.
Right.
We have 1.5. And at the time when it was released, like it was like a couple hours, it was 7. So there was only 1 radio station with local radio on.
Let's assume for a second it's Leftwich.
Okay.
Let's just go there. How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
I'm with you.
It's got nothing to do with Byron. Byron has earned the opportunity. And what I mean by that is he's gone through the ranks. He's been a quarterback coach, won decently in Arizona. Actually, no, he didn't really. He was all right in Arizona. Came to Tampa Bay. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's worked with the best. He's worked with Jameis 1 year. He worked with the greatest quarterback to play in Tom Brady. He's got this he was a first round overall pick. He's been here in Jacksonville. So he's been here when Jacksonville was not quite winning, but they weren't truly bad. It was a transitionary period almost.
Yeah.
So who better the guy than that? That being said, I ain't trying to make this into what it ain't, but it's like I get fearful now anytime a black coach gets a job because I want Byron to work again. It doesn't bother me if he doesn't work. But no, I'm saying it doesn't affect me. I don't. But my thing is, if black coaches get fired, they ain't the quickest to get hired again. Not just as a head coach. They like some of them they forgot everything. Todd Bowles is an exception. And I think he's good too, but like it's not the NFL is one of those like a circle. It's just a revolving door, except for certain coaches don't get that revolving door treatment. And that's what I'm afraid of, because if they got to keep Balky, it's already got one foot going in the wrong direction. It's like trying to run a 100-meter dash.
I don't think they keep Balky.
You don't think so? Okay, if they don't keep Balky, I'm good. But it's like trying to run against Usain Bolt, and the only chance you got is everything going perfect, and you've already put your left shoe on your right foot.
Yeah.
So like you're already, and you don't got blocks.
I hear you. I feel the same way about Byron. You don't talk to anybody that doesn't like Byron, which was my reasoning for Hackett. My reasoning for Hackett
nobody talks bad about him.
Yeah, it's like maybe it gets you back in good vibes with the NFLPA and things like that. So Byron fits that mold, and I know Byron a little bit, and good dude. But I think in Jacksonville it's tough for us because we know Byron the player,
right?
Like we haven't in Tampa. They didn't know Byron the player; they just know Byron the coach. So I think there could be a little transition period there. But the thing I'm gonna be most interested in, 2 points here. One, his staff. Like, who does Byron bring with him? Because in the NFL, that's tough. Like that's where the new coach sometimes will struggle, because a recycled coach has recycled staffs.
Right.
A new coach is like starting from scratch. I agree with you on the black coach thing, but I'm gonna give you another formula. If you look at recycled coaches, usually they're on their third job. So their first job actually went fairly well. Think Tom Coughlin here. First job goes well, and then they lose at the end. They get fired, so they get another job, right? Because they had that sustained success for 3 years, 2-3 years. And then that second job goes okay, and it's like, okay, well, their overall record's not bad in a league that the overall record's supposed to be 500. They're 15 games above it, 20 games above it, whatever it is. So they get recycled. But what we're seeing now is more and more coaches aren't ever having the initial sustained success, right? So you look at like Gus Bradley. Like, it's going to be hard for Gus Bradley with what he did here to get another head coaching job. You know what I mean? Like, what was his record? It was awful.
It was bad.
I mean, your boy in Cleveland's the only thing that saved him.
Right.
Hugh Jackson.
Because he was worse.
Yeah, who was worse. So it's like in the old NFL, you had the Jeff Fishers of the world. You had
500 is the, like you said,
right.
Holy Grail.
Right. And I'd be it's actually an interesting study. I want to go through. I know Marvin Lewis. He's one that.
But I think Marvin Lewis didn't win another game.
I was going to.
He coached forever.
What about Jim Caldwell? Because all of a sudden, didn't his name just pop back up this year?
I think Jim Caldwell is less of a, because Jim Caldwell kept it. Well, he wasn't with the Vikings, was he? No, he's with
Indy.
Detroit. Oh, Indy
right?
and Detroit.
Yeah.
Indy and Detroit. So I kind of get Indy because where they were before he took it, and it didn't rise back up.
Bro, at one point they were 14-0 when he was there. Like,
no, I got that. But what I'm saying is, like, it's a year. It's the NFL, not for long. What have you done for me lately, league? Like, you can't go to where you're losing in the first round or barely getting there. Hell, we saw Tony Dungy get fired from the Buccaneers after consistently going to the playoffs.
Yep.
What I'll say about Jim, though, it's when you look at what Detroit has been since he was fired. Detroit went and fired this guy when it wasn't good enough for what he was doing.
Right.
And went and got two knuckleheads that have done absolutely worse. Way abysmal. So it's
you don't
not
like the guy now? I'm intrigued by the guy in Detroit now.
I'm intrigued with him as much as I'm intrigued with it as I was intrigued with the Giants coach. They talk a lot of stuff. They sound hard. They
No, that's fair.
I'm trying to figure out because I don't want to, because
he's got that look to him.
I'm not trying to imply something.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to diminish what they've done. But at the same time, it's Eric Bieniemy doesn't interview well, right? That's what we hear.
Must not.
It must not.
Yeah.
But these guys do, and they suck.
Yeah.
What they do is they tap into something that we've all felt that's like a primitive thing about football coaches. Hard-nosed, tough,
decisive.
thick necks. Like, it feels like when they say something, like, I'll go a step further. You don't hear about this. You hear beta and alpha male now. That's basically what you don't hear type A personality anymore. Remember how for a while it was like you got to have the type A. He's just a type A guy. He's a high. Like no, bro. Like you're like nobody talks. Like a lot of the times the type A personalities they might have been successful in this past era, but you know what they really were? Dicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where it comes. Like I drink a ton of coffee. You ain't gonna hear me. I'm not like, and I've shared it before in jest. I'm not gonna share it in a press conference when I'm here. I don't want nobody thinking my heart's about to explode. Like during that situation, I don't want to go up to New York, even though it's not this coach. It was the coach before that. I don't want to go looking like I had just been on a bender.
Yeah.
Like, how do these guys continue to get jobs?
Yeah, there's definitely a couple of fair points, and I'm not disputing what you're saying. I think
when I think Caldwell didn't get a chance to fail. But I think bigger than just getting the opportunity is getting.
Why did he circle back around
time.
this time? You think?
I think because it's and the other part, it's ironic. The only guy who could get the Texas job was a black guy that nobody heard of last year. That even again, Gene Fournette thought was white because he does.
I did
like,
too.
He looks like I give him that, but he's not. He just looks the case. The only job that people are getting circle backs that are black or coaches like that, truly, it's a job that we all feel like nobody really wants right now because of the uncertainty, because they've sucked so bad, because you got an owner that seems like he's invested.
But Caldwell's been up for like 3 or 4 of them, hadn't he?
It all started.
You think he's getting Rooney ruled?
Now that could be another part of it, which I think is the greatest intention, dumbest rule of all time.
Yeah.
It's had the effect of what people think affirmative action actually has had. Like it actually has prevented, like possibly prevented another guy, white coach, from getting because you have to interview somebody. You only got a certain amount of time to interview so many. And the problem is it's a GM / owner / good old boy network, which I'm not saying that in a negative way, but like perfect example. I get hired, right? Mm-hmm. I get hired as a head coach and I need a quarterback coach. I'm not hiring Miles as the quarterback coach. Mm-hmm. Hiring you.
Right.
I know you.
Right.
Worked with you, done that. Offensive line coach. I told him. Don't know any black offensive line coaches. No, Lucky. I know one. So it's 50-50. But I know one I've worked with one better.
Anybody I've ever known whose name is Lucky is not Lucky.
No. I'm not even gonna go there because I don't want to misconstrue. But I get what you're saying. Like Lucky Whitehead.
Right.
Far from Lucky.
Right.
Running backs coach. A lot of black running backs coaches. Those don't typically get OC jobs. Don't typically go to be head coaches.
But do you think like with Byron it helped? Because Byron interviewed last year,
I think
right?
what helped Byron, like that's the only thing it does help is that you can't know how to prepare for an interview if you've never been in one. What I mean is a lot of times they're just bringing in people just to bring them with no intention to hire them. Help. Who just did it? An NFL team just did it with Hines Ward. Hines Ward hasn't even coached in the NFL. He's a wide receiver coach at FAU. Huh?
Wasn't it Houston?
Yeah, it was Houston. Like we know Hines Ward isn't getting a job.
Yeah.
You literally like it's literally you're slapping us in the face right now.
But
black people know that.
Do you think though that Hines Ward is appreciative for the opportunity to interview?
Hines Ward is appreciative for this. It does add value to where he's at now.
Right.
When he goes on the next college coaching job, he can put, I was interviewed for an NFL job.
I didn't even know he was in coaching.
And I found out through then.
Yeah. I feel like we talked about it one time on our show, but I'd forgotten.
Yeah. But again, it's just that much. He's down with Tag where they're just chilling on the beach. It would work better. Now, what has helped is not the Rooney Rule. It may be a part of the Rooney Rule. And forgive me for my ignorance, but they do have the minority coaches thing where like they're literally actively pulling people in, giving training, giving points or whatever to teams that hire guys from out of this program. I think there's not just diversity in how it looks, diversity in how it sounds. Like we don't need everybody to be this fake Howard Cosell in journalism. I love the fact that they're reaching out to players who are current, teaching them or giving them the platform to learn how to do a podcast, learn how to do these things. That's what's helped Ryan Clark. I think that's what's helped I hate to say crazy, but the I Am Athlete podcast. That's what's helped a lot of these guys get Channing Crowder, help them get jobs. It helped them be able to start a platform to be able to earn a living. But until scouting changes, until GMs change, you're not going to really see an accurate reflection across the NFL, because the GMs are the ones who are tied to it. You hire who's in your circle, and your circle tends to look more like you when you're part of the you're part of the not culture. What is it? You're part of you're the most populous race. Like it's majority there. Thank you. It's a majority of white people in the world, in United States. So to think that somebody who's white has 75% of his friends and colleagues are white is not racist. It's the truth.
You know what I think is going to help this, and then we'll get more specifically onto Byron, but I think the rise in coaches' pay, because in the past, if you look at the last like 15, 20 years, guy plays 9 years in the NFL and he makes $20 million. Well, those position coaches used to pay like 100, 120. Well, now they're paying 600, 700, 800. So now you get out, and OCs are paying at the NFL level $2 million, and head coaches are getting, $7, $8 million. Now you get done with the game and you look at your account and you're like, yeah, I got 20 million, but I still love the game and I can do this for 20 years. And oh, by the way, it's pretty dang good pay. Whereas before it's like, why am I going to spend all my time up there for $100,000 when I've got 20 million in the bank? I think that's going to help too. I think the majority of the league is African-American players. And so the more that you can keep your current players engaged when they're done, it's going to start to kind of trickle up a little bit, I think. But regardless, and there's part of me that it's a little disrespectful as we're talking about Byron to even talk about that. Like I feel, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like
you
it's kind of
be
a weird
on your
thing.
merits, but the reality is the world, and this is where people kind of like, oh, it wasn't me. Well, it wasn't, but you benefited. Like whether you believe it or not, you did. It's the reality.
What did I benefit from?
No, just the way America was shaped for generations and generations in business. It's permeated into every aspect, even in new, like tech. Tech is new, but it's still like the same concept. The people who are benefiting are the ones who have the wealth, who had things set up for them. So it's not a problem. You still got to be good.
Right.
You can't suck.
Right.
And you don't have to be 10 times better than the other person. It's actually, just think about it like this. The one person that you see that don't look like you, think about how good they had to be to get in that position, to be the one. So one day it will change. But it has to. The only way it can change is you have to get more diversity.
And
into
to your original point, they have to have success.
They have to have success, and that's the thing, guys.
Mike Tomlin.
It's so nobody brings up Mike Tomlin. They always bring up everybody else, but Mike Tomlin was again perfect situation for Mike Tomlin. They've had 4 coaches the entire time they've been around. 3. That's my point.
Yeah.
They don't. I don't even think it would matter. Like if they were like 6 and 10 every year, they'd be fired. But okay, we're going to the playoffs. We're good. Hey, keep it up, Mikey.
Yeah.
Like good old boy. That's a good job. Like they're the ones who made the Rooney Rule.
Yeah. Yep.
So like they also can't go back and fire a guy when we're the ones we put it in. But nobody ever brings up Tomlin, and when they bring up Tomlin, they're like, oh, well, he only has.
So who do you think
one Super Bowl? Like,
okay,
damn, dog.
So when I say black NFL coaches,
I actually think
I do too. Yeah. I think of Dennis Green.
Dennis Green was.
I think of Dungy. I think of Tomlin. Herm Edwards. Like that's
Herm might have been the worst, and he still is one of my favorite. Yeah, he fell forward. Like he got fired from New York to go to KC, or
you're right.
KC to go to
one of those. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. And
Romeo Crennel is, but again, so I don't know who did Dennis Green. No, well,
Vikings.
What? No. I was trying to figure out what tree came from. Coaching tree came from.
I'm gonna assume Parcells.
Okay,
so, I'm gonna assume like one of those. Yeah, same tree.
So like basically. The thing is outside of Tomlin, I've be honest with you, I didn't know who the hell Tomlin was until he got hired because he was so young. He was like 30, 32, 33 when he got hired.
Yeah.
So either way, Dungy is a part of a prominent tree, same tree as we just talked about Herm.
Okay.
Him and Herm, I believe they play with each other too. But you just said I'm more than likely. Well, Romeo's from Bill Belichick's tree, Romeo Cornell. Bowles is from a tree. Like all these guys, like that. That's you got to be blessed to be a part of.
Where is left? Is it Leftwich part of Tomlin?
He could be considered that, or he could be considered part of BA's. Uncle Bruce is now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
matter of fact, that's right. That's where he was. That's why he's in Tampa. Because wasn't Bruce in Arizona? Yeah. So like now I remember. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think anybody
Bruce also did one thing to help him out tremendously. Is that he made a statement that wasn't made in Kansas City.
Yeah.
He says that Eric Bieniemy calls the plays, but what Bruce did was took it one step further. He's like, whenever Byron does leave to go get a job, I am then going to take over the play calling responsibilities. So he 100% gave credit to his understudy.
I think Byron has as good of a chance as anybody else has here. I think in Jacksonville, the reason why everybody's taking a wait and see approach is because we've been fooled so many times. Do we even know if you hired, the best of the best right now? If you hired Bill Belichick, could he succeed down here? Like that's the question I think that Jag fans right now are starting to wonder is the constant turnover, and it's like the swings and misses. Is it possible to succeed here? And if it is, is Byron kind of cut from that cloth? You know what I mean? And I think he is. I think he is. I think the people of Jacksonville, in a weird way, getting back to a Jacksonville guy is good right now. Because you had the national spectacle with Urban Meyer last year, right? And so now somebody that people here I think are fairly comfortable with. There's questions, and they're fair, but you're comfortable with. You know who he is. You know what I mean? He's not. That type of thing. I think that could help from a patient's perspective. But plan A has got to be get rid of Balky. But they're not going to do it till after the draft at this point.
Right. I think what was making me believe that Byron was going to get it before was like, I think he's the only one that said, I'm all right with Balky, which is terrible. Terrible, man. Which is why it's already a bad decision.
But that goes back to his tree, though, because how many people does he know like that? How many people he's not that old. How many people can he walk in and go, look, I'll take the job, but you're going to hire my boy.
Right. Okay.
Such and such.
So you're saying he doesn't have a GM in mind. So
right.
He doesn't mind he doesn't care who it is. I would just say that the NFL is a small circle. So I'm sure, I don't even know, do the Bucks have anybody from the, well, they do. They got, but no, Lenny wasn't there when Balky was there, I don't think. Or was he?
I think Balky was there, but he was just salary cap advisor.
Okay. Yeah. Like there's somebody that he's talked to. His agent has talked to somebody that says, yo, this guy's bad news. Like you might not know, like for instance, think about all the people that we interact with on the day-to-day. I might not know somebody personally, but I can reach out and ask a conversation. And if somebody who I trust says, I might then be able to say, like, I don't have an issue with the person per se, but I don't know if I want to latch my career to that, which again,
well, that's hard though.
It's a hard thing because there's only 32 jobs.
That's hard. I mean, can you imagine?
That's what I'm saying. It's only 32 jobs. There's only 32 offensive coordinators. There's 32 quarterback coaches. Yeah. Like this job that you're taking right now.
Well, and if you're Byron, you don't know if Brady's coming back.
Right.
Like your situation you're in right now, it may be about to blow up.
Which with the AB stuff, I normally don't like. I do love drama sometimes in sports. I think AB is full of shit. That being said, this is a big if, he has the paperwork that he's claiming he has, and these dummies text these things to him, like, go to the crazy house for $200. We'll give you $200,000 to go if you go to the crazy house, or that's what we're demanding you to do. Don't try to spin this. If the GM and BA is dumb enough to go along with this, it won't get fired. They'll resign.
I haven't heard this. So there's a text that says what?
He's been on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel,
right?
And then he did the podcast.
Right.
The podcast, I'm like, all right, that's just Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Like Brian Gumbel ain't a bullshit reporter. Yeah. Like this is arguably one of the most. I didn't even know they still had it, but the fact that they're doing it, It's always been one of the more respectable ones. They only do so many seasons, like so many episodes, and then they take a break. But like he's asking them questions. The only thing is we. I mean, I'm thinking it was more uncomfortable because you put some people in a more professional setting. They look weird. But he's got an attorney right there. The attorney saying we have these documents. We're about to provide it. He doesn't look like a.
But what the documents say?
Basically saying that they knew it was something. The whole thing is they're suggesting that he was cut because he didn't want to go play. He's suggesting that they've been shooting my ankle up for the past 5 weeks. And it's like, it is not that I couldn't run. I couldn't function at the level that I've been used to functioning. And I can't go back in. And that's what his argument was. And then that's where Bruce was like, you're gun. And now Bruce went in and said there was nothing wrong with AB's ankle, or I haven't known anything to be wrong with his ankle, which he's saying, no, here's the shot records. Here's the medical stuff. This is all stuff that Tampa Bay knew. And we're coming for my little bit of bread. It's interesting, man.
Like, but none of that matters to me because the way he left.
It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But see, the thing is, it doesn't have to matter to us. We're the no. Public opinion, you're right. That was wrong.
If that had been after the game, maybe I don't know. Because AB may have.
He's even gone back and said that. Yeah, that probably wasn't the most professional.
But AB may just be that guy. It wouldn't have mattered how he left.
But according to, like I always tell people, black and white is law. And civil, which is going to go to civil. Can I prove that you're lying? And if that's the case, it is something so. I bring that up to say that hell, he might have to leave because he'll be considered part of that staff. But Bruce might resign. And then you walk right into a better situation with a better franchise, with a better ownership, like better weather. Like it's a lot of things that
I don't think you do.
Better beach.
I don't think you do, because if you get rid of Brady, Gronk's gone, Bruce gone, Bruce is gone too. Like, I'm not sure that is the situation. My only point being, I don't know that Byron Leftwich was in a situation to make crazy demands to get his first job.
That's fair.
Although Nate Hackett, similar situation, and it seems like he said no, not with him.
But then again, Nate Hackett has been in the NFL for a while.
He's been there for a while,
so he knows that. Worst case scenario, I'll get another OC job.
Yeah,
like it'll come. It's gonna come. It's gonna come back around. Like he was here with with those terrible teams. It still has a job.
He was here in 17.
Oh well, yeah. That does help.
Yeah,
help quite a bit. That's my only fear when it comes to, like, I want to put it like, it's not that I don't want. I love seeing representation. Representation matters. I just don't want it to be in the situation, and then 20 years from now, something be a little bit longer than that. 30 years from now, Trey's trying to get a job or something in the NFL. If I can't hire him, remember what happened when they hired Byron Leftwich? These guys don't coach very well. They can play. They can run with the best of them.
Well, they can
run, hit, and recruit. That's what they do. But damn it, you put them in front of men, and can they lead a man to battle? Like, that's where I get.
It's going to be interesting. Nervous. So we'll start having some of the Jags players file back in to the facility here in the next couple of weeks.
I'm truly interested.
Yeah, I am too. I'm interested to hear what their thought is, because last year it was, and then about 2 months in, it was, okay, this isn't bad. Like, he's making us come up there, but we're getting bigger, we're getting stronger, yada yada yada. And then 3 weeks into the season, it was Urban Meyer.
It gets old. Like, it's not. It's what makes both games great to watch. I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't like the NFL until we started covering it. I still like college better, but I didn't like the NFL.
Do you really?
Yeah, for a completely different, because if you've played it, I get fan that's never played it. You don't understand. This doesn't make any sense to you. It's just two different games. No, it's not the same.
Yep.
NFL is pure entertainment. I'm watching that minute and a half in the Kansas City Chiefs Bills game.
Shoot.
Excited.
Dude, that was unreal.
Happy it was over, but excited at the same time. I don't want to hear shit about overtime. That'd be my head o'clock. I'll go into that. But I understand that was purely for my entertainment. Who won? I didn't have a dog in the fight. There's only 32 teams anyway. And offense is what's more than likely going to keep people in their seats unless it's big hits on defense. College, I could watch a 20-7 or a 20-13 SEC game and be just as excited because it's going to be some good collisions. There's going to be a lot of pageantry. There's going to be a lot more things going into it. College, and I also understand what's going on between those are guys that are in the position that they're in because they're spending a bulk of the 24 hours that they have with each other. There is, even with the NIL and even with all these other things that are changing, it's not going to be the same concept as the NFL. You just can't unless you eliminate school. Now, when you eliminate school from it, then I'm with you. They gotta go. They gotta go take 12 to 15 hours a semester. It makes it impossible to be able to be on the same level as the NFL from a studying standpoint because the time that you'll be in the classroom is when they can be in the film room. So I'm liking that for that. But in the NFL, when you're grown, now you got kids, more kids, you got other responsibilities. You have the brand of your everyday brand. You have a lot of other things that you got to worry about. The last thing, and you don't got to be here. The last thing you want to do is if they can, college, they control 11 months out of your year. NFL, 9.5 to 10, maybe less.
With COVID now, it's 12 in college.
Well, college, 12, but they're trying not to let people go home. But my point is the NFL, same with coaches. Coaches don't have to recruit. They love it. Somebody does their job for them, scouting. Players, like, you don't want to be up there. You want to go to your own trainer. You want to go see your mama. You want to go see your family. Some of these families are spending time in another city. So this is the only time you get to see your people is in the off season. So with a new coach, Urban Meyer, at first, all right, cool. Oh, man, this guy's cool. And then, the last thing I'll say, why I view it completely different. It's cool when you got 100, and this is maybe just me. There's 120 people at the workouts. It is cool. Offense is working out together. Defense working out together. Man, we're gonna go. Let's go hit up steak. Let's get a steak in a sack after this. Again, same guy that you went every Tuesday to go get a steak in a sack with during the summer. You're ready to see him. Oh, you know what? You're cool. We're gonna be roommates. We're gonna be roomies from camp. You come to camp to find out that he got cut.
Yeah.
Like every day, like just think about it. Every day you go to your job, somebody's getting fired every day. And yes, it's the new ones. You could kind of deal with them. You kind of are putting them at an arm's length. But then Susie, who you've been kicking it with for 5 years, she comes in and they got to get rid of her for some new skank.
Right. Wow.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's what you're saying.
Got to be a skank.
No, Susie's not the skank. The
you
new
said
skank.
some new skank at
a new skank. Susie's cool. Susie's going down the street. You say that like she's the
old skank.
Well, she could. She was a new skank at one point.
Oh, jeez.
Taking the old skank's position. My point is that, like, it's when you're around all this, you start developing emotional ties, and then you're like, damn, my dog gone, man. He knew we had all the good inside jokes.
Let's get to the divisional round. Let's get to Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. Make sure you get over there. I would go over there like this week if I were y'all. Yeah. Because it's already almost February. Yeah. Those New Year's resolutions, and I'm with y'all. Like I haven't done. No, I mean we got a month down already.
It's been a tough month to get going. It's cold.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
They got some new equipment.
Yeah, we gotta go
check it out. Yeah.
We gotta go by. But get to Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. They'll get you taken care of. If you're not feeling right, it could be like a testosterone issue. It could be a number of things. It doesn't have to be that you just need more sleep or something like that. Let them figure out what's going on with you. Get to Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. We've talked about this. I don't really like football that much right now, like viewing football. I'm in it every single day. So when I come home, it's like I want to watch something else. But, bro, this weekend?
Oh, I'm ready. I was trying to go.
This past weekend.
Oh, this past one.
Unbelievable. I didn't watch much of the Saturday games. I saw, like, the highlights. But the 2 Sunday games, I watched the end of Tampa and the Rams. And the Rams tried to give that away. The Rams tried everything they possibly could to give that away. But that's why you saw Matt Stafford. It's exactly like they haven't had a guy that can make that play at the end of the year forever. And by the way, while we're on Tampa, cover 0? You gonna leave Cooper Kupp?
So I don't think it was cover 0. somebody who does good, like
So
Warren
safety
Sapp.
roll down.
Hold on. Warren Sapp does this really good thing like every week. Like he'll go into like his movie room or whatever and record him breaking down the film. They didn't. My bad. We'll call it cover zero. Cover zero because nobody knew what the hell they were covering. And if you look at how they moved, they were supposed to the guy covering Cooper Kupp obviously thought he had help because he was running a trail thinking somebody had help over top.
He was playing that safety quarters coverage.
That safety coming down goes to get the tight end who's running an out route. Like that's not the guy you want. Like the bigger problem I have in all of this stuff, both like the two major games. How in the hell are you this late in the season and you're still having communication issues with relaying a play? That is like, I deal with that at I-9 with kids where I have to literally, some of them take them and line them up where they're at. Guys who are getting paid minimum $500,000 a year should not have to deal with this.
Yeah.
Like you should know, I should be able to be here on the side, whatever hand signals the defense does, you should see it. You should line up. You should know what's going on.
You should just situationally. Like you should know at this point, okay, look, maybe I do have safety help, but what I can't do is let him get by me. Like I just can't do that. So, I mean, on some level, we talk about this all the time. We blame things on coaches that are so simplified that these players have been doing forever. The thing about like the thing about the Chiefs game, it was so well executed at the end. Everybody was so prepared. Like it was two freakishly athletic quarterbacks who put on an absolute show. Yes. But the time management outside of the kick by Buffalo, who should have squibbed that. But outside of that type of stuff, the time management, the coaching, the situational awareness at every single position on the field was like on point, on spot. You don't get to – how many times have you been in the situation in practice where 13 seconds, 2 timeouts, we got to score? Like that situation doesn't get rep that much in practice. For them to go the way they did and the unspokens between Kelsey and Mahomes there, like that's so much fun to watch, man, because it's not just a generational talent. It's a dude that you can tell is putting time into studying the game.
Mm-hmm.
I could have watched that game all night. That game was phenomenal, man. Some of those throws that were made. And then, I mean, what do you do with Tyreek Hill?
I was actually just talking with somebody about that in general. It's what do you do with their offense? Mm-hmm. It's very difficult to stop consistently. And what I mean by that is they've got all of their receivers are running option routes. There's three different routes that they can run with everything that you put up against them. And I don't even know how Pat could process all of that. But I remember they were showing this actually, there's only one way to get to him, and that was what the Bucs were able to do. Yep. You have to be able to apply consistent pressure. And the only reason the Bucs were able to do that was because both their tackles were gone and their center was banged up in the Super Bowl. Like healthy, they're tough with those with a Hall of Fame tight end and probably a Hall of Fame wide receiver and another receiver that is very
and a Hall of Fame quarterback,
along with the running back that we all said first time was the perfect running back for their system, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
And and then they got Miko Hardman over. It's just you've got, and forget all of them. You've got a quarterback that I want to test him. I think he needs to be urine tested. Like, there's no way. Pat Mahomes has some kind of like thing that gives him more energy. Like, how can you run around in a circle backwards, do a flip, do a spin, duck under somebody, and then throw the ball? Or then run it 20 yards.
I mean, he sees that same dance move every night at his house with his
brother. His brother's pretty energetic. But I just don't like that's hard in of itself because you have a quarterback where Big Ben used to be a weapon because it's going to take 3 seconds to get him down and he still has a strong enough arm to be able to throw it falling down. He's going to give you 5 extra seconds. You can only cover for so long.
Yeah, especially those cats. What are we doing, Miles?
We got all kinds of stuff.
What are we doing here?
It was too long?
I mean, we got all kinds of what? Oh,
okay.
Okay.
There's that.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to watch, and it's what makes the NFL so good is this time of year. I mean, last weekend I think is the best weekend of football, college or pro. Next weekend or this coming weekend is the second best because you still got 2 games.
I like the Rams 49ers matchup is going to be crazy, I think. And then
Is that the one you're talking about going to?
no,
Oh.
Chiefs. Chiefs Titans. It has nothing to do with
not Titans.
Excuse me, Cincinnati. It has nothing to it's just I have connections out there in Kansas City.
You don't want to go out there. It's going to be like 4 degrees.
I won't be out there. I'd be in a box. But I'm not going because the Super Bowl is a couple weeks. I'm gonna just save my energy and time.
It'd be fun. It would be. I think that's gonna be a good game. I think Joe Burrow is such a dude, man.
Yes,
such a guy.
And I think neither team plays defense very well. And which shocked me, which was the more shocking thing about the KC game and how it ended, because that was the number one defense. Bills had the Buffalo number one defense.
Yeah,
but when you think we were just talking about, tight end, Hall of Fame wide receiver, they're not ready to say any of that. But actually, hell, if Jefferson keeps playing the way he's playing, like, can we go ahead and
who
is it not Jefferson? Who's the wide receiver?
Chase.
Chase. Why I say anyway? It's Jamar Chase. I was thinking the J. Jamar Chase keeps playing like that. Like, that's crazy. You've got another receiver that's dope. Like,
I mean, I want to see just because I want to see the matchup. I want to see LA Kansas City. I want to see LA's defense against Kansas City's offense. I want to see what they do with Jalen, like who's he on, because that would be. I mean, what do you do with that?
Like, I think there's only the problem with that is that you have LA has two other corners that are pretty good. Mm-hmm. I have to take my chances with Hill killing.
Yeah, I don't think you can cover Hill one-on-one.
Well, fine, whatever you want to do. I think Jalen athletically probably could.
You think so?
I would put Jalen over Kelsey. That's the only thing.
I think
what you're not going to do is I'm not going to take everything else away and give you the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So I got to do that so that my front four has a chance to bottle in Patrick Mahomes. That's the only way to get him is to rattle Patrick Mahomes. You have the defensive line to be able to do that, but it should make for that. I think any of the Super Bowl match. I don't think Cincinnati would be good in the Super Bowl. I like Burrow. I think they're a year or two away.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. I mean, the thing that everybody in Jacksonville wants to know is, do we have Burrow, Mahomes, Allen? Like, is this our future if we get everything else kind of head in that right direction?
I think maybe Cincinnati, because look at where Cincinnati was not too long ago. I think what should give Jacksonville Jaguar fans hope is look at Buffalo. Buffalo's been abysmal for a while, but then they got a quarterback. The only difference, they got a quarterback that nobody really thought was going to be any good, except for a few. We called him Trash Josh, and Josh is definitely. It shows why teams look for live arms and they want to develop
his athleticism. I way underrated that.
Yeah, way underrated. They were able to get Diggs in a trade. So again, we have the money free agent wise. Okay, let's get you the top guy.
Think about all these teams. So Jacksonville had the number 2 pick when they picked Luke Jokel. Mm-hmm. You know who had the number 1?
Ooh.
Kansas City.
They didn't get
Eric Fisher.
Yep.
Right. And so then they brought in Alex Smith. And now, of course, Mahomes. If you look at LA, it wasn't that long ago that their first pick was a quarterback who's now in Detroit. Right. If you look at Buffalo, you're documenting kind of where Buffalo's gone. And then Cincinnati was trash a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. You can't. I think that's the frustration here in Jacksonville, though, because we don't ever turn it around. But you can. You can turn it around if you've got the dude at quarterback, which San Francisco don't really have that guy, but they're just so good defensively, and in the run game, it doesn't matter. And the other three have that guy.
They have a dude that's every team has a guy that's a matchup problem, along with a
dude. Debo's unreal.
Yeah, so I mean,
he's unbelievable.
You're not gonna like this. Well, LA does. I don't think LA does. I don't know if Cincinnati does, but they all have a fullback.
Why am I not gonna like that?
No, I'm
I
just
like
joking. I'm
fullbacks.
not saying. I'm just joking. Like people are, I've been making that comment, and people have been like, "Oh, rah. Well, that's because the spread." No. If you look at the teams that are winning, they got fullbacks. Get a damn fullback, and you'll win.
Well, we're back in the time where you either have 2 tight ends or a tight end and a fullback.
Or one guy, what idiot on Twitter was like, "I don't think you need a fullback. What you need is you just need a tight end who's somewhere between 6 foot and 6'3". Roughly about 245 to 260 pounds.
Also known as
a fullback.
Fullback.
You need a fullback. Like that's basically what it is. But San Francisco has a good one. Kansas City has a good one. Buffalo had a good one. The Ravens actually he ain't nothing but a guard. That bit 300-something pounds.
Yeah.
Like, but he's good. He's quick. But again, going back to Debo's matchup issue, Tyreek Hill obviously a matchup issue. We just talked about Jamar Chase is a matchup issue.
OBJ's playing well. And I'm a big Cam Akers guy, but bro, you can't put it on the ground in those situations. I mean,
no running backs worth 2 fumbles.
He's really only played what 9 or 10 games in his career at the NFL.
He got hurt earlier this year,
right?
So then last year, yeah.
I don't think he played a full year last year. So I mean, he's young. He's going to be good, but can you be confident in giving him the ball in pressure situations twice?
Yeah, no.
Remember, he fumbled right before halftime.
Yeah, not this year. That's my own silly rule that my coach beat in my head. No running backs worth 2 fumbles. That's you.
All right, let's get to Green Acres real quick. GreenAcresSporting.com. Get there for all your hunting and fishing needs. Whatever you need. Like if you need a knife, they had a ton of knives. I want a knife. I think I've decided I want a knife.
Nice. Cool.
One of those, yeah. They had muskets, ARs.
Muskets. They have
flamethrowers.
The flamethrower is cool. It's legit.
Fishing stuff.
Tons of it. The AR is still on sale. 30 mil. I think I said that right.
It's $30 million.
No, 30 cal. Excuse me, 30 cal.
It's on sale for $30 million.
30
in the metaverse.
In the metaverse, right. 30 caliber. I don't know what those other numbers. Military approved. It's got great accuracy. It's a Radical Firearms AR rifle. So it's normally $700, but they're selling it for $499.
Military approved, you said? So is that like when I go to my dentist and they give me the toothpaste and it says it's like his dentist approved or whatever?
Yeah, somebody, I don't know quite what all the standards are. I'm hoping it's higher than just some dentist said that this is the toothpaste we're approving because they're paying us.
Right.
I hope maybe like a general or somebody say this is what we're going to.
I've never heard military approved before. We should start putting that on random stuff.
Military approved.
The Sports Den is military approved.
We have a lot of military people that listen to us.
Yes. Thank you. Anyway, get to greenacresporting.com. We're got the same 8 o'clock. So go ahead.
Well, you want to talk? Do we want to even get into this Jacksonville Iceman thing or just?
Oh yeah. All right. So tell me what happened.
So
Jacksonville Icemen are a local hockey team.
Not just that, we are an affiliate of the Rangers, one of the most iconic New York Rangers, most iconic hockey franchise, and the Stingrays are an affiliate of the Washington Capitals. They played earlier this week. That was Monday, right? Whatever.
The Stingrays and the
Icemen played earlier this week. Sabin, I want to say that's how to say his name, or Saban. It might be Saban.
Oh,
Subban. Yep, Subban. He is it's their famous family in hockey. Remember a couple years ago I told you there's some brothers playing hockey that were like the best. Yeah. All the brothers.
That's his people?
That's his people.
Okay.
So
Subban?
Black guys.
Okay.
Just so you can know this.
Okay.
Ain't a lot of us in hockey.
Right.
Like, but them brothers is good. One's a goalie. Like
I don't like you saying us in that scenario.
Not us. Whatever, man. It's not a lot of brothers in hockey.
All right.
Something happened in the game and a gesture was made. Like a monkey gesture.
Oh, dear.
Behind the guy's back. And his teammate saw it. He turns around, and the beautiful thing about hockey, now I know why black people haven't flocked or gravitated to it yet. It's the skating part in the ice. We don't really we're in warm climates.
Also, the reason why most white people don't go to it. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But white people, like you see in Hallmark movies, we see them skating all the time. You don't see brothers skating in Hallmark movies.
You ain't gonna see me skate.
Fair. I'm afraid to fall. But the point is, the beautiful thing about hockey is I thought fights just started then. They could schedule an Uber square up right before the not quarter, what do you call it?
Period.
The period starts. So my man said, "Oh, you want monkey see, monkey do, huh?" So he beats the shit out of this dude for calling him a monkey. It says this is why it got too excessive. But he said, "No, this is why I did it." He did it. His teammates saw it. His teammates wanted his ass whooped. So the whole thing goes around is that it was a racial gesture. People, I can't speak for all black people. I can only speak for myself. And now this is odd, seeing that one of my favorite shoe companies or apparel brands is called Bathe and Apes. Even though I don't have any ape stuff on it, I just happen to like the way the gear looks. I told people when Trey came and when Kai came, I informed my white friends because I know white people don't know this yet because it's been around forever. Don't give me shit with no monkeys or no bananas, none of that stuff. I've seen it on children's clothing, and it's
really,
it's innocent. I tell them off the gate though, don't give it to me.
Potassium is racist.
No, it's not the potassium; it's the monkey part. As a history major, going back in time, like there was a lot of blackface, a lot of stuff like that.
Right.
Black people call monkeys, apes, gorillas. It's not a term of endearment. I don't like that. No, come here, little monkey. Don't you call my kid little monkey, and I'm around, I might slap the shit out of you. And it might be, you might have been innocent and didn't know what you were doing.
No, there's a big difference in giving somebody clothing.
No, I'm saying the clothing part is like, but then
I'm pretty sure if somebody walks up and calls
but it might
monkey,
be like, oh,
like they know what they're doing.
A little cute little monkey. Like, no, he's not. Just like I did spaz out on a guy when he said Trey was like a pretty little boy, gorgeous little boy. I said, no, we call men handsome in this part of the net woods. We call men handsome. Should be calling my son no pretty. He ain't no girl. The point is don't do that. Black people don't like it. It's not a term of endearment. I'm not just like blackface. Don't wear blackface at Halloween. Just saying that. Unless you're a multi-million-dollar Grammy Award-winning artist who knows how to spin it and uses it in the proper context and is okay with getting his ass whipped at that point and waiting it off. Don't use racial epitaphs. Or you're Riley Cooper. Riley Cooper was able to get out of that too, but he was at a country. Key is keep it in a country music concert, and don't call black people monkeys. And this year, there's already been 4 incidences in North America in the different hockey leagues. So the guy said he didn't know.
The same thing?
It's monkey gestures.
Really?
Yep. And the guy,
I thought we were past that.
So much past it that there's a panel that you got to go on to be able to get you got to go through classes. It's one of the things that a lot of people say, because I get it. You're immersed because you're the black quarterback whisperer. Quincy trains all the white quarterbacks. You train all the black quarterbacks. I don't know how this works. But I think if people would take a second and go into another world so they can find out how something is offensive. Because if you call me a monkey, I'm not looking to be offended. That's actually actively been used against black people to be offended.
You're putting too much energy in this because this is a layup, hockey, bro. No, this is a layup. I can tell you, I will speak for white people. We know better.
No.
This isn't a question, bro.
I know you do.
I thought we were past this.
No, I know, but a lot of people think
wait.
This is why I'm saying, like, I don't truly, because the argument is it's the natural defense with anything. I didn't know I couldn't do that. I was just doing this.
But let me ask you a question.
You had to
the hockey player
who did it,
American?
I think he's Canadian.
Oh, well, we don't claim.
But it's the same. That's not a white product. It's like black men don't cheat. He was Jamaican. That's not black. But no, my point is man, you at a certain point, you know, and if you didn't, it's an expensive ass way to figure out to find out.
I got to text my wife and make sure I tell her that if Trey comes over, do not give the kid a banana, even if he asks.
No, the banana is fine. The banana is fine.
Because I don't think she knows that.
Don't dress him up as a banana. Don't get him monkey clothes. Just keep away from damn monkeys for a second.
We're going to be going to Tropical Smoothie, ordering something. And listen, I need you to hold the banana.
Shit.
No banana in this.
And I just like to say, because like I have people, most people, like shout out to my favorite pilgrim in Jacksonville, a kid named K. Fruit, going to Air Force, and my pilgrims at Bowls Lacrosse that I'm training right now. We call them caps, cold ass pilgrims.
Okay. That's gonna work out well.
I've had people be like, "Well, that's
gonna end well."
Here's the
for
thing.
you.
Here's the thing. Pilgrim is offensive. Okay, fair. All I asked, explain to me how is it offensive? I was like, I learned about pilgrims in elementary school. Every year we celebrate pilgrims getting fed by Indians. There's literally a company called Pilgrims on your way becoming in the pilgrim area.
Wait, so that's what we're doing now?
No, but what I'm saying, I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay.
And I can say the word. Would you ever be? Matter of fact, in Cracker, I don't say it. There's Cracker Barrel. Not a white person or a black person in America would be called dead in nigger barrel. That's how I know people know that there's a difference. No matter how good the damn food is, no matter how bad, no matter how good the product is, you know that you can't. We call black people slaves. They've called them indentured servants. They've even said that they were just immigrants in some books. Not one book have we ever read. Well, actually, matter of fact, some books got taken off the shelf, even though I think they were good. Huckleberry Finn was taken off the shelf, not because they used the C word in there, it's because they used the N word in there. We know what's offensive and what's not. People choose to be like, you're not choosing to be offended when something's called
What are
monkey.
they serving at the restaurant that you said we want?
Oh, we're gonna have fried chicken, collard greens, mac and cheese.
Yeah, I think I'd go.
We'll have red velvet cake though.
I wouldn't buy a shirt. I wouldn't buy a shirt.
But what I'm saying is, you'll go and you'll be like, "Hey man, we're gonna go. Let's go to NP. No, NB. Where's NB? Like, there's the place over there where they serve the good food, like season it real well. Yeah, but what's this called? It's the Barrel. Barrel. Let's go to the Barrel. Like,
it's over there off MLK.
Yeah. It's off Sutel, man. This is Moncrief. It's like my point being is this. Is that at a certain point, when we do want to truly to disappear, like, just like, if that's like one, that's not even one of the close ones. Like, that's a close call. Like, I'll give the benefit.
He knew what he was doing because he did it behind his back.
No, actually, forget that it was offensive to a whole minority group. You knew you were wrong when you did it behind his back.
Right.
You weren't willing to do it to his front.
No.
So you deserve to get your ass whooped. But now you're losing a check. I think he's suspended like 30 something games.
Whoa, really?
They're not to the NHL's credit, they're not playing with anything that has anything to do with racism. We joke
about NASCAR did the same thing. NASCAR was the same way.
Which was the craziest thing is the leagues that are the least watched are doing the most in the leagues where you kind of need these people to run.
No, you're talking about the leagues that are the least populated with black people.
Black people ain't watching hockey, man.
No, I'm saying players.
Then the players too.
They're the ones doing the most because they don't. If
they did absolutely nothing, their ratings would not change.
No, that's true.
Like, if the NFL, if something like that happened in the NFL and the NFL did nothing, well, actually the ratings wouldn't change either. Because then we'll go back to what we were doing with this healing campaign.
Perhaps
they should.
Perhaps the NHL. Like,
I said this with.
I mean,
I said
I'm
with
just
NHL
saying.
and NASCAR.
If at any random moment I could see some dude just explode on somebody else, like beat the piss out of him, and I could get fired up for that guy, I may watch it.
I think
if we could all get behind the Rocky thing, like that ain't what was his name? The guy that beat up the hockey player.
Oh, Subban. We're gonna go with that. Subban.
Ain't nobody going against him. As a country, we would come together and defend that dude. I'll watch it. We're paying $5.99 for celebrity boxing.
Like, actually, when I was reading it and his tweets coming back, it sounded like I whooped your ass. And you're lucky you're suspended that many games, because if we play it again, I'm whooping your ass again. Hey, so that was it. But let's get into
real quick. 8 o'clock. Brought to you by Green Acres. The NFL overtime rule has been the topic of discussion. I believe that two things can be true. It can need to be fixed.
Okay.
It can be a bad system, but it also is not the reason why somebody lost.
Okay.
Right? Like,
fair.
That's not, you lost when you let them go 40-something yards in 13 seconds. That's when you lost the game. You went into the game knowing the rules of the game. That's the reason why the coin toss is such a big deal. This country flocks to casinos and bets on red or black. Finality to it. Like, I'm going to put everything on black. It's a saying. Okay, well, it was a coin toss.
Why couldn't it be red?
I'm going
I'm just
black.
joking.
If I got to win money, I'm going black.
I bet I always bet on black.
Yeah. Yeah. Try to get me.
But yeah, it's the same. What's trippy is how hypocritical we are sometimes. It's the same people that I'll see tweet about participation trophies that are complaining about the NFL overtime rule, it not being fair and balanced. So here's the reality. It's not called overtime. Overtime is literally moving it away from what its real name is. It's called sudden death is what it's called.
That sounds so dope.
Emphasis on sudden, meaning abrupt, quick, death, final, no more, nothing after. That's why it's called that. You know why it's called sudden death? Because you had 60 minutes to play the game where it was even, where it was balanced, where you had the same uniform. You had the same, you played with the same object. You had an offense, defense, and special teams. Like I said before, novel concept. How about you stop a team with 13 seconds left in the game? You know what you probably won't do? You won't lose. Like you would win the game.
I will say this.
It was exciting.
It was super exciting. And I think the rule change they had a couple years ago where if you kick a field goal, they get a chance needed to happen because the field goal kickers are kicking from everywhere.
Now, that's cool. I'm with that.
The fact that all you had to do was hold them to a field goal to get a chance.
But here's the crazy thing. So this is in both games. This is just a Chiefs game. Think about what had to happen in 13 seconds for them to win the game.
Think about the 2.5 minutes.
You scored a touchdown. They had to 13 seconds. They had to get 60 yards. Well, they gave you 25 on the touchback, but that's your kicker's fault. So your special teams couldn't pin them in, couldn't kick it high enough to be able to make them
or
get
squib
tackled on the
kick and get 4 seconds taken off.
Again, so
game over.
A special teams breakdown.
Yep.
The best player on their team, arguably, now they have a couple, but you let Travis Kelce be wide open in the middle of the field. So not only is your defensive coordinator inept, he's going to make the kick easier for the kicker by giving the middle of the field open, not forcing them to be on a hash, which it really doesn't matter because they're so small anyway. Your defensive line couldn't get a sack, couldn't put their hands up. You had 2 units that were able to be on the field to prevent your third unit from having to get on the field again. On top of it, 13 seconds.
13 seconds. Dude, I thought it was over. Even with Mahomes, I was like,
everybody thought it was over. I was watching the game with Trey, my son. He was like, who's a Mahomes fan. He has his Mahomes t-shirt on. He's like, but then he's sitting, I videotaped it. He's sitting there like, oh my God. They're going to really do it. Only a child should be like that. The rest of you adults, it's a game. It's over. I can understand if you were a Bills fan, dude, that would stink.
The video of Bills of like sports bars with Bill fans in it. Fantastic. If you haven't watched it, I gotta
go watch that.
It's 30 minutes of entertainment for you. You got to watch every single one of their heads go. Like, it is the end of their world, man.
You'll be back next year. The thing is this. It's like fix it. Like win during the game. I'm not finna go back and forth with these people all the time. You can, if you want change, like this isn't the reason why you want change. 74-72.
Yeah, I don't.
People don't remember that. Well, that's what that was going to be.
Yeah.
If we had the Kansas City shootout is what is actually would have been ironic. Where it was at, but I don't want that back because again, now even in that situation, you effectively remove, even though the new college rules do make it a little bit better, where it's after a certain, I think after was it 2 or 3 overtimes, it's 2-point conversion. So if you get stopped once, but like I don't want to see you keep getting 4 downs over and over again.
No, but I do think, again, I have no problem with this game ending that way, but I do think if you gave both teams the ball, that's what we wanted to see in that scenario. Could Buffalo answer again? Like I wanted to see,
and they probably would have, but like football isn't 7-on-7. It's not offense. There's 3 phases of the game, and the teams that consistently win are sound in all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams.
Yep.
Everything about the playoffs and everything about the way the system is designed right now is perfect to what you have to go through during the season. If you don't, the only thing you don't have real control of at any point is the referees. But if you don't think it's fair that you're a cold weather team and you got to play in the heat, you know what you need to do? Win.
Mhm.
Have home field advantage. You play the same amount of games as the team that you're going up against. When people are saying it's not fair, I had to take a step back and be like, okay, what about it isn't fair? Both teams don't get the ball. It's sudden death. Both teams don't have to get the ball. It's sudden. Did they both have the opportunity to have the ball during the 60 minutes of regulation play? Yes. So this is extra. So what you're saying is you want soccer. You don't want American football. You want it basically to go into where there's run over minutes and everybody has an equal amount of time. That's not how American football is played. I'm sorry, guys. It's just there's got to be a winner and a loser in this situation.
I mean, again, NFL wins again because we're all talking about it.
Oh,
it's Wednesday, and it's still the main topic of conversation.
Phenomenal game. Dope.
Well, I'm even talking about the rule. I mean, again, we're talking about an NFL rule. The NFL just, gosh, man, they're like an algorithm. They just know. They know how to stay. They know what's going to keep everybody.
Whatever happens to the
focused.
thing? Like, I guess they voted it down. Like, remember they were talking about if you go for two from like your 20, like was it 4th and 10 or something like that? You can kick the ball. Like you get the onside.
Yeah, it was like 4th and 15 or something like that. Yeah,
and like
I thought that was dope.
Yeah. Now, if you want to tell me that, like to get the ball, like it's 4th and 10.
Yeah,
the first you get the ball first, but it's on 4th and goal or whatever, and you got to score. That would be dope.
Yeah.
Would it be fair? Probably not, but it would be that one play. I'll be watching the hell out of it. There have been an average of 3 overtime games every NFL season since 1974.
What?
I'm just saying it's not that many. Every season. So people are bitching and complaining about something that truly does not. The rules
just
aren't even set up for it to happen that often.
I feel like we've had more ties than that the last couple of years.
I'm just like, they put out it was a concrete number.
Yeah.
It might actually, you know what? Let me stop. I think 2018, it did not include the last 3 seasons in that article. Because I wanted to know.
Yeah.
When I'm arguing,
regardless,
like,
even if it's double that,
what are we really arguing about? Like, are we truly arguing about something that happens this frequently to where they need to overhaul?
Well, if you would have told me to guess, I would have been way off because I would have said 15. I would have said like almost one a week.
Nah, you would feel in this season it might have been.
No, I probably wasn't. Now that I think.
Oh no, it was just what happens is now what they did say, 4th quarter comebacks and lead changes as high as it's ever been. Now, I would suggest that that's more of an entertainment thing.
It's rules
to get you to like not leave your not saying that they're cheating or anything, but just saying like, all right, maybe referees swallow their whistle a little bit and let things go. Or my bad. And the way I'm gonna really end it, and Mr. Go 30's got content for months right now. How many times are we gonna see pro DBs fall?
Yeah.
The Davis guy. I'm not sure. I had never really heard of him until last week. Scored 2 touchdowns on me. I'm probably going to guard you. Or situational awareness. What happens if you just maul Travis Kelce before the ball's thrown?
Yeah.
At worst, 5 seconds runs off the clock and you get a 15-yard. Maybe I think it's a 5 defensive holding is 5 yards. It goes back to what I was saying about FSU against Jacksonville State. Get the pass interference. Don't let the guy beat you deep. It's only 15 yards, and it runs time off the clock. Like, there's so many other things that could have happened within the framework of the game.
Yeah.
That you don't have to change the rules if you just have people who are more situationally aware. But this is what happened. One team felt like they had time with Patrick Mahomes and the people that they had. The other team felt that they had time as well. Was on their side. It's only 13 seconds. There's no way a team without Aaron Rodgers is going to cover that much field. And with kickers being able to boot it 62 some yards consistently, which baffles me too, because 20 years ago, a 45-yard kick wasn't automatic.
Yeah.
But now, like, you get past the 50, and you can expect points. If you want to make some rule changes, let's talk about maybe like Canada or something. Make the field long. I don't know. Like I don't know what to do.
I mean, they tried
But I'm not.
the extra point, which has worked because you do see more of those missed. But anyway, well, I mean, that's an off-season topic too. There'll be rules committees and stuff like that to meet on that. By Friday, hopefully, we know for sure if the Jags have a coach.
Yeah.
Well, listen, when Dilla says it, it's for sure in my book. So holler at me, Byron. Let's get this thing going, man. You got anything else?
Nah.
No.
If you want to help the show moving forward, sports sponsors: Green Acres, Northeast Executive Health Spa Incorporated, LLC,
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Oh yeah, comedy show with Goodfellas. Come check that out. Our very own Bobby Brown Jr. The second Bobby Brown.
The better one.
The better one.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly kin to the famous Bobby Brown. We just don't know. Maybe.
He's a junior.
He is a junior.
So
anyways, come check him out.
Let's just say it. He's the son of Bobby Brown Sr.
Yeah, why did I even think it? Bobby Brown's son is going to be performing.
Yes.
But other than that,
all right.
Friday.
We'll see y'all on Friday and get to ABC. We don't have to talk about
ABC.
that, but we'll see you guys on Friday.